Hello everyone, myself Dr. Harshini, Associate Professor SJBIT. This is 15th video on strategic management, and 15, 16, 17 video will include module 5 strategy implementation. So these are the contents which will be covered in this video and upcoming two videos. Strategy implementation, organizational structure, strategic leadership, organizational cultural strategy, and innovation. And in innovation, introduction about it, process, product and platform, creative destruction and disruptive technologies, designing organizations for innovation, innovation environments, that is which includes institutional innovation environment, co-creation of value, open innovation and open strategy, national innovation systems, learning networks and clusters, and social innovation. Strategy implementation. Well, strategy implementation refers to the execution of the plans and strategies so as to accomplish the long-term goals of the organization. It converts the operative strategy into the moves and actions of the organization to achieve the objectives. And it converts, simply put, strategy implementation is a technique through which the firm develops, utilizes, and integrates its structure, culture, resources, people, and control system to follow the strategies to have the edge over competitors in the market. Well, strategy implementation is the fourth stage of the strategic management process. The other three being a determination of strategic mission, vision and objectives, environmental and organizational analysis, and formulating the strategy. It is followed by strategic evaluation and control. That is the last module of this subject, strategic management, which I'll be covering in the last three videos. And what do you mean by strategy implementation? As I told, strategy implementation is a process through which a chosen strategy is put into action. It involves the design and management of systems to achieve the best integration of people, structure, process, and resources in achieving organizational objectives. It is a total of activities and choices required for the execution of a strategic plan. It's the process by which strategies and policies are put into action through programs, budgets, and procedures. After the creative and analytical aspects of strategy formulations are settled, the managerial priority is converting the strategy into something operationally effective. So this is the implementation of the strategy. So the implementation concerns can become quite challenging when a major strategic change is being proposed. When the environment changes rapidly or abruptly, progressive firms take steps to capitalize on new opportunities and or minimize the negative effects of the changes. Changes can be brought about by factors such as the need to address increased competition, improve quality or service, reduce costs, or align the firm with the practices and expectations of its partners. Strategic change can be transformational, such as when a firm changes its product line, markets, or channels of distribution. Strategic change can also be operational, such as when a firm overhauls its production system to improve quality and lower its cost of production. Strategy implementation may be said to consist of securing resources, organizing these resources, and directing the use of these resources within and outside the organization. So the strategy implementation includes building a firm capable of carrying out strategy successfully, allocating ample resources to strategy critical activities, establishing strategy support policies, instituting best practices and programs for continuous improvement, installing support systems, trying reward structure to achievement of results, creating a strategy supportive corporate culture, exerting strategic leadership. And the problems in implementing strategic plans. As you can see on the slide, more time than planned, unanticipated problems, activities inefficiently coordinated, crisis deferred attention away, employees with effect from capabilities, with respect to capabilities, inadequate employee training, uncontrollable external factors, inadequate leadership, poorly defined tasks, and inadequate information system. All right. Then the process of strategy implementation includes process. I'm talking about the process. It includes building an organization that possesses the capability to put the strategies into action successfully, supplying resources in sufficient quantity to strategy essential activities, developing policies which encourage strategy. Such policies and programs are employed which helps in continuous improvement, combining the reward structure for achieving the results, and using strategic leadership. The process of strategy implementation has an important role to play in the company's success. The process takes place after environmental scanning, SWOT analysis, and ascertaining the strategic issues. So, prerequisites of strategy implementation. Institutionalizing of strategy. First of all, strategy is to be institutionalized in the sense that the one who framed it should promote or defend it in front of members, because it may be undermined. Then second one, developing proper organizational climate. Organizational climate implies the components of the internal environment that includes the cooperation, development of personnel, degree of commitment and determination, efficiency, which converts the purpose into results. Then comes formulation of operating plans. Operating plans refers to action plans, decisions in the programs that take place regularly in different parts of the company. If they are framed to indicate the proposed strategic results, they assist in attaining the objectives of the organization by concentrating on the factors which are sufficient. Developing proper organizational structure. Organization structure implies the way in which different parts of the organization are linked together. It highlights the relationship between various designations, positions, and roles. To implement a strategy, the structure is to be designed as per the requirements of the strategy. And next one is periodic review of strategy. Well, review of the strategy is to be taken at regular intervals so as to identify whether the strategy so implemented is relevant to the purpose of the organization. As the organization operates in a dynamic environment which may cause any time, so it is essential to take a review to know if it can fulfill the needs of the organization. Even the best formulated strategies fail if they are not implemented in an appropriate manner. Further, it should be kept in mind that there is an alignment between strategy and other elements like resource allocation, organization structure, work climate, culture, process, and reward structure. Then only the effective implementation is possible. So that's about strategy implementation. Now I'll take you through the organization structure, the next concept. Talking about the organization structure, it is the pattern in which the various parts of the organizations are interrelated or interconnected. It prescribes relationships among various positions and activities. For implementing strategy, the organization should be designed according to the needs of the strategy. The relationship between strategy and structure can be thought of in terms of utilizing structure for strategy implementation, because structure is a means to an end, that is, to provide facilities for implementing strategy. Therefore, both should be integrated. In the absence of such integration, outcome may be a confused, misdirection, and splittered effort within the organization. There can be various ways of designing an organization structure. However, the major issues involved in designing the structure to fit the strategy involve the answers to the following questions. What should be the different units of the organization? What components should join together? And what components should be kept apart? What is the appropriate placement and relationship of different units? Are few of these major issues which are involved in designing the structure to fit the strategy involved. Then, talking about the types of organizational structure. We have different types of organization structure. It depends again on through the various ways or views organization structure can be divided. Well, regarding organization structure, an organization structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization. These activities can include rules, roles, and responsibilities. The organizational structure also determines how information flows between levels within the company. For example, in a centralized structure, decisions flow from the top down, while in a decentralized structure, decision making power is distributed among various levels of the organization. Having an organization structure in place allows companies to remain efficient and focused. So, understanding an organization structure means business of all shapes and size use organization structure heavily. They define a specific hierarchy within an organization. A successful organization structure defines each employee's job and how it fits within the overall system. So, the structure provides a company with a visual representation of how it is shaped and how it can best move forward in achieving its objectives or goals. Organization structure are normally illustrated in some sort of chart or diagram like a pyramid, but the most powerful members of the organization sit at the top while those with the least amount of power are at the bottom. Not having a formal structure in place may prove difficult for certain organizations. For instance, employees may have difficulty knowing to whom they should report, and this can lead to uncertainty as to who is responsible for what in the company. Then, talking about the types of organization structure, functional structure. Well, four types of common organization structure implemented in the real world. The first and most is the functional structure. This also referred to as bureaucratic organization structure and breaks up a company based on the specialization of its workplace. Most small to medium sized business implement a functional structure, dividing the firms into departments consisting of marketing, sales, operations is the act of using a bureaucratic organization structure. Again, activities are grouped through common functions. As you can see on the slide, chief executive officers based on finance or accounting, there will be production, different departments, production management and engineer and personal department, administration department, research and development, etc. What are the advantages of functional structure? Well, following are the advantages. It gives a clarity, economical scale within the function, and talks about the specialization, and there will be a coordination among, since it has been properly allocated based on the functionality. In-depth skill development, we can see in such form of the structure of organization, and suitable, it is quite suitable to various organizations which deals with specific function. And talking about limitation, poor decision making, this is most commonly happen in any type of organization, and also managerial vacuum will be there, as every department has they have to upgrade to the manager, and manager may not be well specified or specialized in particular department. So then, coming to the next, that is product or structure or departmentalization. Product structure, this is the structure, if you can see, based on the product, division A, B, C, among on that the departments will come under that. Divisional, multi-structural. Okay, so under this, the second, this is a common among large companies with many business units, called division or multi-divisional, or you can even call it as departmentalization. Product structure, different structure. Company that uses this method structures its leadership team based on the products, projects or subsidiaries they operate. Good example of the structure is Johnson & Johnson with thousands of products and lines of business. Company structure itself, so each business unit operates as its own company with its own president. So division may also be designated geographically in addition to specialization. For instance, a global corporation may have a North American division and a European division. Based on the project or team based structure, it's an effective way of focusing all the necessary talent and organizational resource for a given period on a specific project goal. Similar to divisional or functional, this project based organization segregates the team and based on the projects that serve particular goals and functions. Then it's an yeah, effective way of focusing on all necessary talents and organizational resource, as I already told you. Then comes after this matrix structure. Well, project managers are assigned to a variety of projects rather than a single one. So talking about the matrix here, matrix structure, firms can also have a matrix structure. It is also the most confusing and least used. This structure matrix employs across different superiors, divisions or departments. So it is a mixture of combination of many different types of structure. An employee working for a matrix company, for example, may have duties in both sales and customer service. Okay, there are some more structures which are not included here, which I'll be explaining now. That is circular structure. Circular structure are hierarchical, but they are said to be circular as it places higher level employees and managers at the center of the organization with concentric rings expanding outward, which contain lower level employees and staff. This way of organization is intended to encourage open communication and collaboration among the different ranks. Network structure. The network structure organizes contractors and third-party vendors to carry out certain key functions. It features a relatively small headquarters with geographically dispersed satellite offices, along with key functions outsourced to firms and consultants. So what are the benefits of organization structure? Let me concentrate on that. So organization structure, benefits of it. Putting an organization structure in place can be very beneficial to company. The structure not only defines the company's hierarchy but also allows the firm to lay out the pay structure for its employees. By putting the organization structure in place, firm can decide salary grades and ranges for each position. The structure also makes operational more efficient and much more effective. In separating employees and functions into different departments, the company can perform different operations at once seamlessly. So in addition, very clear organization structure informs employees on how best to get their jobs done. For example, in a hierarchical organization, employees will have to work harder at buying favor or courting those with decision making power. In a decentralized organization, employees must take on more initiative and bring creative problem solving to the table. This can also help set expectations for how employees can track their own growth within the company. Well, key elements of an organizational structure includes how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization, such as rules, roles, responsibilities, and how information flows between levels within the company. Then what do you mean by organization structure chart? Well, organization structure are normally illustrated in some sort of chart or diagram like a pyramid, where the most powerful member of the organization sit on the top while those with the least amount of powers are at the bottom, as you can see here in every chart that I have shown you in the video. Alright, so then alright, so let me just talk about centralized versus decentralized organization. Okay, so an organization structure is either centralized or decentralized. Traditionally, organizations have been structured with centralized leadership and a defined chain of command. The military is an organization famous for its high centralized structure with a long and specific hierarchy of superiors and subordinates. In a centralized organizational system, there are very clear responsibilities for each role. The subordinate roles default to the guardians of their guidance of their responsibilities. There has been a rise in decentralized organizations, as in the case with many technology startups. This allows companies to remain fast, agile and adaptive, with almost every employee receiving a high level of personal agency. Okay, so then understanding an organization structure. Business of all shapes and size use organization structure heavily. They define specific hierarchy within an organization. A successful organizational structure defines each employee's job and how it fits with the overall system. And but put simply, organization structure lays out what does what so the company can meet its objectives. So here today in this video, alright, so in this video, as I told you, this is the first module under this is the first video under module 5. but 16th video all together on strategic management. So here we covered certain concepts, that is organization structure and strategic leadership. So then in upcoming videos I'll be continuing with organization structure, strategy and innovation. So thank you, thanks a lot.